Cook Show. Today we're making crab cakes, and today's show is brought to you by Kelowna Yamaha. So I've looked on YouTube and all the crab cake recipes that are on there, and we're going to roll through our ingredients one by one. One thing I'm not going to do is watch the one crab cake recipe that seems to be on YouTube, and everybody's copying it a million times, so we're going to show you how to make a different recipe altogether. You're going to want some sour cream for your dip. Use quality crab, don't use canned crab, you know, if you have to peel the shells or whatnot. This is a jalapeno. You're going to want a lemon. We have some olive oil here. This is a red pepper. Although you're not going to need all this cilantro, you're going to want to have a bunch of cilantro. You're also going to want to have some dill too as well. We have garlic. You're going to need about 2 medium-sized potatoes, probably more to the large size. This is a chili sauce. It's hot. You can leave it out if you want. I say it's better with. You're also going to need an egg or two. You're going to want to have some flour. We have some mayonnaise. This is Old Bay seasoning. And this is panko. This is a Japanese breadcrumb, very important in this recipe. So we have a very special guest today. It's a bird. It's probably Canada's coolest potato peeler, and this is what we're going to use. So you're just going to want to peel your potatoes. Garlic show. You're not in the show today, buddy. It's the bird today. All right. Are you following him, or are you trying to block his? Look, it's a bird. Okay. Good idea with your potatoes is to cut them up into smaller pieces when you boil them. You're going to want to dice your red pepper up. If you don't know how to core a red pepper, just cut the top off and the ring, and you should get the stem will come off all at the same time. Discard the inside of the red pepper. Get rid of the pulp. You can just cut down the side, flip it onto the side, and then you can start cutting it into small chunks is what you're going to want to have this in. Do the same thing with your jalapeno, just cut the top off, cut it in half. You don't have to use a lot of jalapeno, use as much as these, I will tell you that the recipe that we're going to make today does have a little bit of a zip to it, so you might want to just remove your pulp. Just cut your garlic. I usually cut mine in half, cut a bunch of lines in it, cut it again. I've showed you guys a million times on my shows. Just don't take your finger off. So now that I have all my garlic and peppers chopped up, you're going to want to put that into a pan with olive oil. So you guys get an idea of how much olive oil I'm using, not very much. And we're going to saute this. Our potatoes we're going to fill with water, and we're going to boil them. So the amount of cilantro that we're going to chop up is not very much at all. Cilantro is a pretty powerful taste, so you got to be careful of how much you use in this particular recipe. So you're going to end up buying a whole bunch just to get just a little bit. So the same thing with dill. It's pretty powerful stuff. Don't use a whole heck of a lot. I don't even know if I'll use all that. We're also going to grate some lemon zest. Whatever you do not grate the rind. You don't want that bitter taste. Don't make them too lemony. Just take a little bit. We're going to use the juice too as well. So once you've boiled your potatoes, just give them a mash them up. Don't overboil your potatoes, leave them somewhat dry. It's kind of important in this particular recipe. You don't want watery potatoes. Next thing you're going to want to do after that is just turn your pan on. We're gonna saute our garlic and red bell pepper and jalapeno. So I'm going to start off with 1 egg. You might want to use 2, but you're going to want to add your egg as you go. Don't just dump in 2 eggs. Once your potatoes are mashed, what you're going to want to do, grab your all your sauteed jalapeno and red bell pepper and garlic and just dump it into your potatoes here. Grab your cilantro and your dill and your lemon zest. Scrape that in. Next thing you want to do is just add all your crab. Your crab mixture, if it's anywhere between about a half or a third crab to potato, you can use more crab if you want. We're just going to do this more affordably for people. This here is our hot chili sauce. Usually it's called sambal olek or olik, however you want to pronounce that. Use as much or as little as this as you want. You can actually just take it right out of the whole thing if you don't like hot stuff. This stuff's got some zip to it for sure. We're now going to add some Old Bay seasoning. Don't overdo it with this stuff. It's we're already using red pepper. One of the ingredients in here I see is peppers. I'm going to add some egg just to bind all this. And here's what our mixture looks like before we mix it up. Make sure you mix this up real well so you get crab everywhere. You don't want to. Everything that we need, we've mixed our crab up and whatnot. Pay attention, I'm only showing you guys once. I don't like breading, so grab probably about a golf ball size chunk of your crab mixture here. Because of the potato with this particular recipe, a lot of crab cakes fall apart, but these ones are not going to. So if you overuse egg, it will. You just roll your, lightly roll your mixture inside some flour. Then you're going to want to go into your egg wash mixture. And then we're going to go directly into the panko. Roll it around. What I usually do with the panko is put a little bit, don't use all your panko in one bowl and keep breading the same because the egg and whatnot starts to get all over. Try to make sure it's nice and even. Once you have your ball, your crab cake ball, what you're going to want to do here is you're going to see I'm going to flatten this down. And here's what we'll do. Not too much, just, and then straight onto the pan. And you're going to want to do all your crab cakes like that. Try to keep them all the same size. Crab cakes are rolled out. Here's what they look like. And we're just going to pop these into the oven. They're going to go in the oven at about 350 degrees. You want to bake these until about golden brown, and then I'll show you what to do. We're going to pull them out, and we're going to brush them with some olive oil. We're going to flip them, and we're going to put them back in the oven to get the deep fried effect. But we're not going to use all that oil. While our crab cakes are in the oven, I'm starting off with a bowl of chili sauce. And then I'm going to add in some mayonnaise. The mixture for this, you can eyeball it. Most of my cooking shows have been trying to use this exact amount of this. And I'm going to be honest with everybody, I don't cook like that. And we're not going to cook like that anymore on my shows. I like to let the food somewhat create itself. So we're going to put in some sour cream. And last but not least, the other thing I'm going to use is we're going to use in a bunch of Old Bay seasoning. So just mix this up thorough. Should get a pinkish type of sauce. It's a lot of dressing actually I'm making here. Depending on how many people you're feeding, you can use. You're going to want to use about a third sour cream, a third mayo, and a third of that, maybe a little bit less of that chili sauce. As you can see, we're getting almost a dip mixture going on. Okay, so these crab cakes have been baking for about half an hour. I'm just going to brush them with oil. You don't have to put a lot of oil, just a little bit. My name's Scott. Thanks for watching another episode of Channel 2 on Cookshow.ca.